Welcome everybody. This is a special edition of Voices of the Industry. It's been a minute since I spoke to this person. It's been about a year since we did our last sit down, but she has some exciting announcements to make. So I wanted to give her the stage, give her the platform to come on here and let the people know what she's got currently going on. Welcome back, Lycee Anaya.
What up? What up? I can't believe it's been that long. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Things happen. We've been busy, you know.
It's been a very busy year. The last time we spoke, I was working with the studio to get it off the ground. Mm-hmm. And now I am focusing solely on my passion project, which is Artists Ignite. And the premise is it's a competition show to bring creatives and community together in a friendly competition, very tongue-in-cheek, where there is an artistic performance such as a band playing or a play or a dance, people dancing.
Okay.
And I'm going to have 9 artists each episode come in and watch the performance. And then from that performance, it'll be a short 30 to 40 minute performance. They will draw inspiration and take reference photos or sketches, go back to their art station, and in whatever medium they want, will create something based off of the performance. So the idea is to create something from a living energy, sort of like plein air painting, but you get a little bit more time to finish it. Mm-hmm. And you get a subject to inspire you. Now, in this, the competition aspect of it is I will have 3 different judges. Likely one is going to be a constant, but the different judges, because art is so subjective, and to have just 3 consistent people doing the judging every time it's a bit unfair. I like having different judges because, like I mentioned, the art is so subjective. And for the pilot episode, we had a business owner who brews beer. She owns a brewing company. She doesn't do art, but she has artists in her family. So she appreciates art. But really why I pulled on her expertise is because she owns a business. And as a businesswoman, she has to know what sells. So that was one dynamic. Another dynamic, I had a local celebrity drag queen who is a performance artist. And she makes all of her own costumes, and they are very elaborate, artistic, and she has an eye for performance and art. And the third judge, she has been an artist all her life. And this woman has probably the most murals around Albuquerque. And she even has work in the White House.
Wow.
To me, that's really interesting because it brings this very interesting trifecta of judges with all very interesting backgrounds. And they all have to come together, which is why I had an odd amount of people and judges. They have to come together and decide what is the one. And each episode will have different judges, guest judges, some repeat judges. But for the most part, every episode is going to have different artists, of course. And I like that because it gives people more exposure
Mm-hmm.
and it gives us more exposure, to be honest. If you have 9 different people for each episode, I mean, that's 9 different networks, people's connections that can help spread the word and expose these artists and the show and just the whole artistic adventure across the board. And the whole reason that I named it Artists Ignite is because that's AI. And it's my attempt at, well, number one, trying to take the attention away from artificial intelligence, because whether you like it or not, you're still talking about it. And with people talking about it, it's taking away the attention of the artists and their journey. Artificial intelligence is not a threat to art. There's no journey in it. And that's what people like. They like the hero's journey. And that's why I wanted to make it a competition show. That's the overall premise. And I draw a lot of inspiration from Portrait Artist of the Year. They have a similar setup, but instead of a live performance, they bring in celebrity sitters. I adore the show. It's on its 13th season. So it is successful. It's in the UK and I love it. And I have absolutely no problems with it. Americans cannot apply. So I kind of stepped back and was like, well, fine, I'll start my own. So Americans cannot apply. And they would bring in these incredible celebrities and have them sit for 4 hours. And now I don't know about you, but just the average model can't even sit for 4 hours. So it's very hard for them to do that. So my idea behind that is, why aren't we capturing these amazing celebrities, actors, musicians, dancers? There were some that were sports Olympic winners. And why aren't we capturing them in their element? They had Ian McKellen. How interesting would it have been to get him to do a monologue?
Oh, wow.
And then he's not sitting there for 4 hours, but he does a performance for 5 minutes. Everyone takes photos and they can capture that. It's so different. This falling asleep, because you're sitting still for 4 hours, or capturing what they absolutely love to do. So I really think that the dynamic will be, first off, more exciting inherently, but also keeping it tongue in cheek. You and I both know how hard artists are on themselves. We don't need to do that. And eventually, because of how hard artists are on themselves, eventually when I do get the funding, I really want to have a therapist on set to help talk people down, which is something that I think the industry should normalize. Can you imagine if people were there to talk Heath Ledger down? He was going home, taking his character with him. And that is such a horrible waste.
Yeah.
So I know I just gave you a whole lot.
No, it's cool. Yeah, it's a very exciting project. I know when we spoke about it last year, you're telling me it was in its infancy stages. It was just, cooking in the back of your brain, like this is something that you wanted to do. And I was surprised when you told me, like, hey, and by the way, like it's happening. It's a thing. It's in production. I know you filmed like the first, yes,
Yay.
That's so exciting. I know you have like kind of 2 episodes kind of in the can. You're working on raising funding and trying to work on a 3rd episode, getting that going. And I guess we could just get like a brief glimpse as to like what those first few episodes are about. Since you mentioned there's different mediums of art that you guys are playing with,
Mhm.
just a little glimpse as to what those first episodes will entail.
Yes. So we are in the, we're full speed ahead for episode 2. We're planning it and gathering things.
Mhm.
Um, I can't say what the act is
Mm.
because that's cheating.
Okay.
But I can tell you that the theme is Bridgerton.
Ooh. Okay.
So it'll be a nice period piece. But the very first one, we had a band play for us. And the band was called Red Light Cameras. And a very energetic band. Like the drummer, like half the time his hair was spinning. So it was fun. And what I did was when we got there, I had everybody draw a number 1 through 5.
Mm.
And 1 through 5 was how many band members there were.
Mm.
So if 2 people drew number 1, that was the person they had to focus on.
Mm.
So that everyone wasn't painting just the singer. You
Mm.
know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
say painting. People use different mediums, acrylic, pastel.
Mhm.
One person used comic books as like a paper mache
Mm.
and then put pastel over it. It's really interesting.
Mm.
One guy did, he can see the music. Have you
Mm.
ever heard of that?
I've heard of colors. So what
Yeah.
exactly
He
is
could
it
see
doing?
the music. He could see the colors of the music.
Hmm.
So he put that onto canvas
Oh
and
wow.
it was fascinating. Yeah, I mean there were a few different mediums and different interpretations, and all of them were very interesting, especially because to see how people interpreted movement
Hmm.
and music, that was really fascinating to me.
Hmm. It's really cool. Yeah, I remember just being in life drawing class, and it was so fun when you saw different people use different mediums, and
Yeah.
depending on the angle that they were sitting in, observing the model, or just again, like you said, like what they took away from what the scene read to them. Sometimes it's just a simple pose. Other times they would be telling a story within their sketch, and that's always something interesting. That bit of interpretation, right? Like that's what drives and motivates artists is to do you understand where I'm coming from? I don't care necessarily if they get it, but it's like at the same time, that also means something to artists where it's like, wow, they got something different from it. And now we can have a conversation about the piece. And that's always interesting.
Right. And that is where the hero's journey comes from, the conversation, the story behind the piece, right?
Mm.
And that's what makes it even more interesting. It's not just a shallow image. There's thought behind it. There's a process behind it. There's years of education and practice, honing in your skills. And I really think that giving everybody that spotlight within the show is going to highlight that there's a lot of work behind this,
Hmm.
and people need to see that this is why artists as a whole, not just painters or photographers, dancers, cinematographers, artists as a whole have a problem with artificial intelligence. And I am trying to put it out there that it's just a tool.
Mm.
It will never replace us
Hmm.
as the creatives.
No, for sure. No, yeah, I'm super excited by the whole endeavor that you've embarked on, like trying to make this dream a reality. Super exciting. I'm glad that you came on and gave us some insight into what the project is about. And hopefully they can feel the passion, they can feel the drive, and also feel like they want to be part of it. So let's let the people know how they can be a part of bringing this to life. Like, what do you have currently going on?
I'm so happy you bring that up. We currently have a Kickstarter going on. And if you are independently wealthy, please visit my Kickstarter. It's Artist Ignite Show. There's a few tiers of things that you would be getting if you end up going for a producer role or even a sponsorship role. I'm going to have the credits, all of the sponsors, and I'm also going to do potential product placement if that's what you want. So if you are a painting company and you want someone to use your paints, there's actually a third tier to the show. When people go to a museum, you see people sketching all the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up stations behind the competitors for onlookers. So anyone who wants to join in, who's just inspired to join and wants to paint with a group of people, there's going to be stations set up with different types of mediums so that they can try it out. And that's going to be the part where, say, Basics Acrylic wants to sponsor. We would bring in their product and have people try it out, and we would highlight that. There's also a producer role in which you would get your money back plus 10%. And then, of course, I'm always open to if somebody just wants to fund all of the seasons and throw thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars at me. I won't deny it. And that is definitely something that I'm open to, so long as I have the ending creative say at the very end, because I'm really very protective of the artists and the mission, the very basic mission, which is bringing this creative community together. I don't want anyone to throw a whole bunch of money at it and then say, okay, it's mine now. Like, no, you can throw money at it and then I will give you money back. And it will be awesome. And the proof of concept is, of course, Portrait Artist of the Year. It's on its 13th season. People love it, but it's only in the UK. Artists Ignite has the potential to go regional, if not global. And there are enough artists out there to pursue that.
For sure. No, sounds dope. I'm almost thinking, like, where can I sign up? But,
I hope you do.
yeah, but it's super exciting. I'm glad that you're making it happen. Yes, the Kickstarter is live now. Go support it. And yeah, there's a bunch of tier options. So, don't be shy. There's definitely an option for you could contribute and help, make this happen. And yeah, so thanks, Lycee, for coming on, letting the people know what you got going on. Ours Ignite sounds super exciting. We want to see this happen, and we want to do our part to make that a reality. So yeah.
And look who gets to be a sponsor now.
Oh wow. There you go. You get to hear first. We get to now be a sponsor for this.
Thank you, Mike.
Oh, of course. No, appreciate you coming on. And these are the kind of projects that we also want to spotlight and see get off the ground, because highlights artists like you and I, and highlights the fact that AI is here, but it's not end all be all.
Of course, the most obvious one is photography. And painters and fine artists really thought that photography was going to take over. But through the years, fine arts has always been a constant. Like, there's going to be something tomorrow that's going to threaten somebody's artistic abilities. It's not that it's threatening your artistic ability. It's that they're trying to get to an end result faster. And there's just nothing that can replace that master copy.
No, for sure. Yeah, there's something about the human spirit, right, that can never be replicated. And art is like yeah, it's almost like a prism that, or a projection where art can kind of be projected onto a canvas, I feel like people are the true instruments when it comes to art being created, and I'm sure there's some poet that could more eloquently describe what I'm trying to say, but um no, but it's exciting. It's exciting, it's fun. And yeah, we appreciate having you on. Yeah, be sure to check out the Kickstarter at Artist Ignite Show. Be sure to check out, they have an Instagram, and stay tuned as we'll definitely keep you guys posted with little posts on our social as to what else they got currently going on. And
Amazing. If I may, for the Instagram, it's artist.ignite.show. Someone else already took Artist Ignite.
that's a shame, but yeah, artist.ignite.show. We'll have that displayed, and that'll be in the description, the Kickstarter link and the Instagram page. And yeah, be sure to check it out. And all right, buddy, till next time, take care, and be sure to check out the next one.